Tutorial: to create sales invoice. Step 1. From the menu bar, choose Inventory Entries, then Sales Invoice, and select Create or Edit Sales Invoice menu. Step 2. Click the New Entry button on the right of the screen to start making an entry. This creates a new system-generated transaction number, which cannot be changed by the user, and all entry-related default values also get set. If you want to check the last invoice from this terminal, you can click the Cancel button. After clicking the New Entry button, always make sure that a new transaction number and all entry-related default values have reflected. When making a new entry, do not use the mouse and click on fields to enter values. We will be using the Enter key to move from one field to the other. This also ensures that data validation is completed. Step 3. Use the F5 key to switch the invoice type to cash, card, or credit, depending on the type of payment. Step 4. The cursor is on Transaction Reference, which is where we start the entry. If you are using manual billing, that number can be entered here, otherwise, you can leave it unchanged. The reference number must have a value, has to be unique, and cannot be duplicated. Press the Enter key when done. Step 5. We are now on the Date field. Type in the date of your invoice, or select the date using the date picker. When finished, press the Enter key. Step 6. The focus is now on the Track field. You can use this field to record mobile number or any tracking number to later look up similar bills from listing. Press Enter key when done. Step 7. We are now on the Debtor field, and the default debtor has already been set. To change, simply type the first few letters of the debtor account and press the Enter key. This brings up the lookup list, from where we can select the appropriate debtor account. If you know the exact debtor ID, you can directly enter the shortened form of the ID and press Enter. The debtor name gets displayed, and the focus moves to the next field. Step 8. Now we are on the Salesman field, which displays the default salesman. Similar to debtors, key in the first few letters of salesman name, or enter the shortened form of salesman ID, and press Enter. The name gets displayed, and the focus shifts to reference number. Step 9. The reference number field can be used to store details of the reference document, if any. For example, the LPO number associated with the sales bill. You can leave it empty if not required. Press Enter key to move to the next field. Step 10. Next we have the reference date, where we can record the date of the reference document. As explained earlier, you can type in or use the date picker. When done, press Enter. Step 11. The focus is now on the Notes field. You can edit the notes to record any relevant remarks, if required. Press Enter key when done. We now move to the Invoice Details section, where we enter the details pertaining to inventory, the item or items invoiced, with quantity and price. The inventory items can be located by PID, which is the system-generated product ID, or by UID, which refers to the unit ID. We can also locate items by BNO, barcode, or PNO, part number, if enabled. Step 12. The enabled code type for product is displayed as a drop-down list. The default gets selected automatically, but can be changed if required. Press the Enter key to move to next column. Step 13. We are now on the Inventory store. Here also, the default is selected and can be changed as required. Press Enter key when done. Step 14. If we are using UID, BNO or PNO, you have to type or scan the correct value and then press Enter. If using PID, you can enter the shortened form and press Enter. To use the lookup list, type the first few letters and press Enter. The product lookup list also displays the default unit, stock, and unit price of the items. From the list, select the appropriate product item using up or down arrow keys, and then press Enter. Step 15. The item details appear that is, item name, as saved in Inventory Master, and VAT details. Focus then moves to the inventory unit. Depending on the different units, for the item selected, it will appear in the drop-down list and can be selected as suited. Press Enter when done. Step 16. The focus now shifts to quantity, and by default, a value of 1 is set. Enter the quantity of items sold, and press Enter key. Step 17. The unit price set for this item in the Inventory Master appears here by default. For reference, edit if needed. Press Enter once done. Step 18. We are now on the amount column. The total amount, including VAT, if applicable, is displayed. Press Enter key from here to complete this row, and the new row gets generated automatically. Repeat steps 12 to 18 to add additional items, if any. Do not make any editing to the new row generated at end once all items have been added. The summary of item VAT, if applied, and gross amount can be viewed on top. Step 19. Enter the discount amount, if offering any discount, on the bill. Step 20. You can use the round off field to adjust the invoice amount by typing the value to be deducted. This automatically gets applied as a discount. Step 21. In the case of credit invoice type, if we have collected any cash for this invoice, it can be entered in the received amount field. For cashier card invoice, the received amount automatically gets updated as the net amount of the transaction while saving. Step 22. Click the Save button on the right of the screen to complete the invoice entry. Step 23. You can click on the Print button to generate a document for the invoice. Click the printer icon on the top left. From the screen that appears, you can select the printer and then click the Print button. Step 24. Click Close to exit print screen. We are now back at the invoice entry screen. Step 25. Click Exit to close the sales invoice entry screen, or repeat from Step 2 if you want to make another sales invoice.